Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today, something special. We got primetime racing with the PAS gravel race series on Zwift. Course we're going to be racing on for stage 2 is handful of gravel, 2 laps, about 16.5 kilometers, so not an overly long race. And yeah, it should be pretty spicy. And I think I'm going to make it spicy right out of the pen. So here we go. Hold on. And yeah. Hope you enjoy the action, as always. Stick around the end for some race wrap-up, and right on. All right, always like to start out from the pen, spicy, and this was no different for me. So yeah, so we're on the asphalt for the first part of the course here. A little bump here, and then we're going to head down into the valley where it'll switch over to gravel. Hopefully everybody's on their gravel bikes today, since this is the Zwift gravel series. It's sort of the whole idea around this series is to be using gravel bikes. So it will make quite a difference once we hit the gravel. My bike is actually at level 4. They go up to level 5 for upgrading, so it's in pretty good shape for these sort of races right now. There's another Rhino in the race there today, just in front of me there. David, wasn't familiar with him because he's another part of the club, races at a different time zone than I do, so this is prime time, not usually the time that I race at, so it's kind of exciting to be racing with riders that I have never raced against before. So we're going to be on the gravel section here. It's pretty flat for the first little part here, and then we're going to start to head towards the suspension bridge, where it can get a little bit spicy at that point in the course. But yeah, the main pack is together right now. There's a couple of riders. There's a little bit of separation there. Way back, there's some that are straggling a little bit, but this is the main part of the pack here. About almost 60 riders in the race today. And okay, so what's my objective today? So basically try to stay at the front of this group, probably around between 10 and 15 position in this race. Try to utilize the draft. Here is a very critical part here, so I can slide back a little bit here because I want to utilize the draft and the momentum of the other riders as I push up through, slingshot off the front. Now, at this point in the race, I'm not trying to get away. They're about 1 second behind me. Now, distance-wise, if you look at the bottom of the screen, they're probably about 20 meters, the main pack behind me. I'm not trying to get away. This is not my plan for this race. It is to utilize the draft as much as possible, and this is still the downward section of this course, so I would never get away from the main pack at this part. We're going to start the climb in a little bit here. We're going to head sort of the rock. Here's the main pack. Okay, so they're back on me here. And this right here is actually the finish line. I'm going to talk about that at the end because there's something that you need to be aware of at the finish for this race. So we're just about to start the climb. We're going to head a couple more turns here, and then we're going to go through there's like a underneath a bridge section. There were some pillars and stuff, and that's where the climb actually will start. And right here, I'm just conserving, sort of, surfing the wheels, sort of staying with the main pack, but no major effort, a lot of coasting. And yeah, we'll see. There's some really strong riders in this group today that I'm aware that they are ranked much higher than I am. As for Velo ranking, I'm just a platinum rider, and there are some amethyst, which is the next level up in this race. And if you want to go with the other system, with the ABC system, there's B riders in here. I'm on only a C. So here we start the climb, and I'm going to push the front. I don't want to be off the front, so I'm going to slide back a little bit there. Yep, there we go. Perfect spot. So I want to be around 10 to 15th spot, and I want to utilize the draft. You can see my draft gauge there. It's right beside my avatar. I always like to see that. I always like to see how much draft I'm getting, so it's very useful. And I also like to position it where I get a bit of tunnel vision going on in these races, so I sort of have to focus on sort of the center of the screen, so that's why I have those numbers, my watts per kilogram and my draft gauge number right beside my avatar, so I don't really have to glance too far off the screen to see what kind of power and what kind of draft I'm getting. So we're into the climb now, and yeah, pretty happy with the position here. There are a couple riders go off the front here. I'm not going to chase them down. That's not part of the plan. The plan is to draft. So I'm going to slide back a little bit here, and there's going to be a blue section coming up there where things do flatten out, where the pace can pick up. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that. And so we're going to head up the climb. We're about probably halfway up the climb right here. Still in a good spot. We are very strung out though. If you see the map up in the corner where the little Rhino guy's running, obscuring the map, you can see that it's very strung out right now. And when you see the group get strung out like this, you know the speed is going up. And if you're not aware and you're not, grabbing wheels and staying on this group, you'll get slung out the back, and it's very hard on a climb to sort of get back onto the front group. Right now, see, I'm pushing a little bit there. I want to stay with this group, great spot. I want to be right there, getting as much draft as possible. Off the front, no draft, and that's not where you want to be on a course like this. Yes, I have raced other courses where there's climbs and I go off the front, but this one here, I'm trying not to do that today. Trying to conserve as much energy as possible. It is only 2 laps, where I've raced this as 3 laps before, but I raced it much differently because there wasn't 60 riders in the race that I was in JD's series. Much different strategy in that race than this one here today. So you can see the orange section that's coming up. That's going to be the suspension bridge again. We've already crossed it once. We're going to go over it again. And yes, that's a part there where things can get a little spicy. And yeah, we'll probably play this. Here we go up to the suspension bridge. So once again, sort of drift back a little bit as you approach it, because you want to be able to slingshot up the other side. So here, sort of back off the gas. You can actually coast a little bit, sort of stay just at the back of that group. And then just as you hit that orange, ramp up. See when I'm ramping up there? Spinning up, spin up. Look at my RPM, over 115. But I'm a pretty high RPM spinner. As if you watch any of my races, you know I spin pretty high RPMs when I race. So 115, 120 really isn't out of the norm for me. Group is back together again. Also now I'm still in a great position. Okay, so this is the front group, and there's another group, chase group behind, about 10 seconds back. We are on the downhill section of the course now, and I'm curious if they're going to get back on. I am not going to push this at all. Once again, says draft, conserve. Got to get ready for the next time up this climb. There's that finish line. We'll talk about that again at the end. So, yeah, so we're on the final lap. We just started it. We're going to go down and around a little bit here, and then start the climb up again. And pretty happy with my position right now. I'd say there's probably, maybe 14? I like to push that. There's about 14 riders probably, and I'm just gonna conserve. This is all about conservation for me. Getting ready for the climb when it's gonna count, right? You gotta conserve your energy and use it when it's gonna be needed. And definitely on a course like this, it is the climb. Coming around here, and we're gonna head underneath that bridge again. And here we go. We're getting into the climb again. So there's not that much left. We got 4.7 kilometers left in the race. And here we go. I'm going to slide a little bit to the front, and I'm actually going to go off the front here. Wasn't my plan to go off the front right now. I have done this when I raced this the last time this course, I did the same thing and actually got away from the pack. I know they're going to catch me. Once again, they're already starting to get on me here. So they were about a second behind me, and yeah, they're going to chase me down here. There are some lead riders here that I can tell have lots of power, so definitely want to stay with them. Here we go, drafting again. So 4 kilometers left. How's this going to play out? We're into the major part of the climb, and I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good at this part of the race, but I also feel that there's going to be a kick happen at some point here, and I hope that I don't get getting strung out again, and I hope I don't get slung out the back here. So we got here about 15 riders in this front pack here, and it already is they're starting to push. And I'm getting a little concerned here, 3.5 kilometers, and it starts to get very strung out here. And I'm just not really, see, I'm starting to push there, and I'm getting a little concerned right now about what's going to happen in the race. 3 kilometers, and as you can see, the front group there is starting to get away from me. I'm pushing, but there's no power-ups. There's been no power-ups for this entire race. None whatsoever. So if I had a power-up right now, say a feather, say a draft, something that would have helped me get up to this group, it would have been pretty beneficial. There are no power-ups, unfortunately, in this race. So as you can see, now they've got away from me. They are about 6 seconds up the road. I am not going to catch them. So now my concern switches a bit. I start looking behind me, and I start to see what's happening behind me. Am I going to get caught by some riders? Do I kind of utilize their draft? And that's my plan now. So 2.5 kilometers to go. Here come some riders. I'm going to grab a hold of them, and I'm going to hold their wheel and use them for draft to get to the end of this race. There's 3 more riders behind, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. They're close, but we're still going up here, and I don't think they're going to grab onto this little group. And here we go with the suspension bridge again. Now with only having the 4 of us, really doing a big ramp up over the suspension bridge won't really benefit me this time because there isn't going to be the big slingshot effect. There we go. So there's 5 of us now. So this is going to be the 5 of us sort of taking this to the finish now with 1.6 kilometers to go. Here we go down the bridge. Now I'm still going to stay on the back, try to recover a bit here, but ramping up and using the slingshot is not going to be as effective this time. There still is draft, and this one rider here in the orange does push a little bit, but I was not going to go off the front. I really want to conserve, get ready for a sprint at the end. And as you know, I'm not a sprinter. I'm more of a climber than a sprinter. So with 1 kilometer to go, we're going to see how this plays out. You know, got to get a little bit of cat and mouse going on here. And I'm going to put it back to regular speed at 500 meters. And let's see the end of this race and what happens. So 500 meters. Basically surfing the wheels here. The rider up front there in orange, I don't think I'm going to close in on him per se. But it's really these 2 riders here, and my sprint is maybe max like 200 I can sort of launch from, so I'm sort of waiting for as long as possible here. Finally decide, now I'm going to go, I gear, I start to sprint, 10 watts per kilometer, there it is. Now this is where things get very interesting. The finish line is not this line right there, it's actually there, where those rocks are. And what ended up happening is I ended up actually passing that one rider. I don't know if he knew that it was at the rocks, those 2 rocks, or was that line on the road. It's very deceiving. I think that line is actually a shadow from that bridge there. I don't know what it is, but that's not the finish line. You got to keep on the gas, which I did. And those 2 boulders on either side of the road is actually the finish line. I wish they would actually put a banner or something there. It would make things more easy for people to, see where the finish is. But so I managed to pass that guy right at the line. To pick up 13th, lucky 13, 13th spot, and pretty happy with the performance today. Let's sort of sum stuff up with race recap. All right, race wrap up time. Well, handful of gravel, second stage of the PASS gravel bike series. Should know this route, have raced it before, have been in a recon video, so yeah, I knew there's gonna be some strong riders in this race. So I wasn't too sure. I wanted to definitely stay at the front of the group, which I did. And I also drafted and on the downhill section, I was not going to be on the front. I was going to draft that whole downhill section, save up the energy for the climb, push a bit on the climb. And it really was just the last 2.5 kilometers, I think, or something. I kind of just fell off the pace there. But I saw some riders behind me catching. So I thought, I'm going to save some energy here, wait for them to catch, draft a little bit there, and then wait for the sprint. So that's what I ended up doing to the end of the race. Picked up some spots at the end. Figured it was better than just no man's land and then blow it up. So that kind of worked out, I think, for me there. Trying to play these games a little bit smarter. I probably pushed too hard on this race at the beginning of it, but hey, I push hard because I want to get better. I want to improve. So I can't just suck wheel for the entire race and expect to get better at this stuff. So I got to push on the front, which I did. So got to make these moves off the front. So yeah, I think it played out. There was another rhino in there. I don't know who he was. I'll look him up afterwards. But nobody on Discord, nobody on chat, just me listening to music that you can't hear. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the action. Something a little different. So as always, subscribe, like, comment, come back anytime, and ride on.